If you know who David Carson is, you might want to stick around for this one. I have a pretty cool story to share. So currently I work as a designer at Amazon, and internally we have this design conference called Conflux that this year was all about AI and the latest advancements in technology as they apply to design. But one of the main speakers was, well, David Carson. So for those of you who don't know who David Carson is, he's responsible for some of the most amazing and inspiring design work out there to see. He is, and I know this from many designer friends, the inspiration as to why many of them became designers in the first place. Well, he also happens to be responsible for the artwork of one of the most important albums of one of my absolute favorite bands in life, Nine Inch Nails. Here it is. This is the cover of The Fragile, which is one of the most important albums in music history in the last couple of decades. Totally unbiased opinion. So during his talk, he briefly touched on the subject of working with Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails and coming up with this artwork. But I had questions that I wanted to ask, and gladly I got the chance to do just that because right after the talk, I got to meet him in person. And let me just say, he was extremely nice and gracious with his time towards me and everybody else who was trying to get a word with him. Probably a lot of design fanboys like me just trying to meet one of their, design heroes. So when I finally got the chance to talk to him, I not only wanted to ask him questions about what it was like to work with Trent Reznor and everything, but I also wanted to share my own takes on why the Fragile cover art is the way it is. During his talk, he briefly talked about some water themes or some aquatic themes about the album in general and about some of the songs in the album and how he wanted to portray that somewhere in the cover art. And once you think about that, it's pretty visible. The top portion is a photo of a waterfall. He also shared during the talk that the big section at the bottom, the reddish orange colored one, is the inside of a seashell, which I always thought it was more like a inside of an ear canal, but so then I got to share with him directly why I thought that the composition of the cover art was the way it was. My thoughts were that the small section at the top being a waterfall is almost like the contrary of what a waterfall is, which is very big and massive and overpowering. So therefore that needed to be somehow small to go against it. And then the section at the bottom, which again, I thought it was the inside of an ear canal, was big because the thing in and of itself was small. So almost like a contrarian theme there. So he hears all of this and then he tells me, well, no, that's not at all what we were thinking about, but I like the way you think. I mean, I'll take it. David Carson likes the way I think. Now, he didn't share this next thing during the talk, but he told me that the portion that is now in the back of the album was meant to be the front cover. And with one day to go, he was talking to Trent and, waiting to make any final decisions before this goes into production and printing and all these things. Trent looks at the image that is now the cover and he thinks, actually, I think this should be the cover. And when David asked him why, apparently Trent said, well, because looking at it is making me feel uncomfortable. And that aligns more with the kind of feeling I'm trying to convey with this album and the music in it. So with one day to go, they had to course correct, change it. Now we have the cover we have. Now that for me was a pretty cool moment for me as a designer and as a lifetime Nine Inch Nails fan that I am, to really get an insight into that decision-making process between two geniuses of our time. And now a pretty cool moment that I will remember forever. Now I'd be curious to know if you know David Carson's work and or if you're a Nine Inch Nails fan, like I am. What do you think of all this? Let me know in the comments below. And that's it. Thanks for sticking around for this story and I'll see you in the next one.